This card, the Solari Stellacorn, sees almost no play despite it being very overpowered stats for 5 mana. It is the singular lowest win rate card in the entire game, so this looks like the perfect job for me to do what I do best. Lose 18 games in a row. But seriously, why don't people run this card? It looks amazing. So I'll be making a deck around the Daybreak effect and the healing effect to make the most out of this underrated card. So now I have basically the entire Daybreak set complete. There's so many Daybreak cards. I can level up Leona, but now I just need to decide like if I want to go to Demacia for like a formidable deck maybe with Galio, or I stay in Targon and add Bilgewater with Soraka and Bilgewater Tom Kench units, or maybe I go to Noxus and use the self-damaging kit that Vladimir provides. That's what I like so much about this game. I mean, the possibilities really are endless. First up, I'm playing the Galio Demacia formidable thing against one of my favorite decks. Any deck that includes Teemo. My opponent opened with a Sting Officer, which means they didn't draw Teemo, which means that they are not very good at Teemo. So I just stunned the Officer. I'm glad they made Leona and her kit exactly like how she is in League. Then, after he just completely obliterates my bird. Side note, this is a really scary animation. I decided to play the Star Spring, which I accidentally left in the deck following the Bilgewater game that I just played. Whatever, that's not important. What is important, however, is he plays Sting Officer number 2, and then he plays Sting Officer number 3. Remember when I said he was bad at Teemo? He's actually really good at Teemo. He knew to save the mana so that he could play all 3 Sting Officers. Normally, I would save Sharp Sight for Teemo, but this had to be dealt with, and now I'm all out of Sharp Sights. Doesn't matter. I got Leona in hand, Stellacorn on the way. And these Flash Bombs are arguably good for me because of the Star Springs I actually have on board. So I decided to make this guy really tanky so that, you know, I don't die to shrooms and all that. And Star Springs is at 6. I haven't even drawn my Stellacorn yet. Oh, there it is. Now I finally get to drop Leona. The greatest thing about this, though, is actually the champion spell I get from the other Leona. Now, Ava Achiever isn't actually that scary, but it's still a priority target, because once he gets Caitlyn down, once he gets Teemo leveled, the double traps are not good. After I get puff capped and flash bombed, I decide now is the perfect time to play the Solari Stellacorn, because not only do I heal the allies, level up the Star Springs, but I also level up Leona. And with that premium stat line, I'm able to attack with it freely, and then I can actually use Star Springs to heal with it and level up Star Springs even more. I admit, I was scared when I saw this card, but I didn't realize he would aftershock Leona instead of the Star Springs. Also, I gotta win this round, which is problematic because I don't have the attack token. Whatever, he doubles his shrooms, I get more flash bombs in my deck. I'm gonna die next round. But, remember that champion spell from earlier? It has this funny line of text on it where it says, activate all Daybreak effects, including the Stellacorn. So the Stellacorn heals my entire team by 3, actually rising Star Springs to 29. And then I make a really questionable play here and almost die because I drew a card. So, oops. Whatever. But I bet it's been a while since you've seen this animation. Can someone please explain the lore to me of how that actually destroys the enemy Nexus? Because to me, I just see like water floating in the air. And then I played against Celestials. Now I have Ione just for the card Syncopation, but I don't actually draw it this game, which is unfortunate because it admittedly would have been helpful. And it's a really funny card. Also, what the heck? 4 units on turn 2 with only Targon cards. There's no Vandal City or Piltover involved in this. And instead of playing the 0/7 formidable flying banana, I am now playing the purple lady with a banana stuck to her head. Now that's some free damage. Now this is annoying, but nothing that can't be solved later with a broad back protector. See? Easy healing. It's one of my favorite cards because of that effect. Then my opponent made a big brain play and stunned the Soraka so that I can't get 2 points for a level up. Normally I would use Solari Stellacorn next round to heal this guy, but unfortunately he'd be dead by then. Then I used Soraka's support feature to get to 3 out of 4 on her level up, and then I dropped the Solari Stellacorn to heal them both, not only leveling up Soraka but also activating the draw effect later. And because Soraka leveled up earlier from the Stellacorn, I was actually able to draw a second Consult the Heavens, enabling this 1-turn kill combo. Yeah, I won this game. Why do you ask? And then I had the bright idea of putting Bard in the deck. Now, the idea is here, you get the chimes, they buff up the health of your units, and then you use the Solari Stellacorn to heal your units back to full, which is like a really large number because it's Bard. Now, the problem I had with this, though, is I just kept winning before I could draw the Solari Stellacorn. As it turns out, Bard is actually really strong. You can just add him to any deck, and it just suddenly becomes a good deck. If you didn't notice, I drew 2 chimes last round, and then I drew 1 chime this round. And the next round, I drew another one, and the next round after that, and another one, and the round after that, and then the next round. Keep in mind, I have 0 Medulis in this deck. The chime economy is thriving, and actually looking back at the footage of this game, the only round I didn't draw chime was round 1. So, I mean, Bard is kind of strong. So I played a game into Lurk, and I love playing against Lurk. It's such an interactive deck. I mean, I love playing as Lurk, I love playing against it. It's just a nice combo. And it unites Bilgewater and Shurima, which isn't a combo that you see very often. My opponent starts out strong with a Rek'Sai Lurk, then I drop a couple birds and it's his turn to attack again. Luckily for me, however, the Stellacorn isn't the only great Solari animal. Plop. The Sunhawk Stellacorn combo popping off. but without the Stellacorn. Boom. Now, unfortunately, he kills my bird. Not my bird, and definitely not my bird, but my bird. I imagine it must be fun playing Rek'Sai into a deck with stuns. Well, I mean, I'm having fun, and so even if he's not having fun, they cancel out, so we're having a neutral amount of fun. Yeah. That's how that works. Yeah, Bard is just way too strong. I can't ever get my Stellacorn up. Admittedly, I think Stellacorn actually would be stronger without the Leona and whole Daybreak package, like you just heal units. I think Daybreak requires just like so much support from other cards and other regions just to, you know, actually win the game. I mean, overall, it's not a bad card, especially if you like build a deck around it. Is it meta defining? No, it's like the least played card in the whole game. Yet it is still interesting with a potential of 15 health healed for your entire board. I mean, that's pretty good. For the next game, I decided to switch to Pantheon with some weird Demacian spells. And having 2 Stellacorns in the opening hand, I mean, the game's already over. Now, admittedly, the other Stellacorn would be better in a Faded deck because you can actually target an ally, but I mean, it's basically the same thing. Keep in mind, I do have Leona in the deck, so it actually does level up Leona when I play the Stellacorn. Okay, back to the game. I'm up against Lucian Gwen, and I see the opponent has 1 mana when attacking, so I just go ahead and abuse the Faded unit. I love Faded units. Pantheon Akshan was actually the first real deck I've ever played. Sus. Then I use one of my extra Pantheons to stun an enemy minion, and hopefully take them out one by one, you know? But my opponent took care of that for me. As a Faded player, I find my opponent's strategy of throwing away their units kind of odd. Faded players want to protect their units, Hollowed players want to kill their units. And Hollowed kind of ramps up really quickly. 5-3 with lifesteal. Admittedly, I've been using the word admittedly way too much. Back to my signature anyway. Anyway, I play the Solari Stellacorn because, you know, I want to protect my units. I heal not only the Saga Seeker, but also the Pantheon. And because I have a second Solari Stellacorn in hand, I actually feel really comfortable making this attack into 2 ephemeral units, because I know that next round I can just heal up any damage done to my allies. However, next round I just opt in for the Zenith or Zenith Blade, because I just want Spell Shield on Pantheon. I don't want him to get Vengeance now. But these keywords actually just win me the game. I mean, there's really nothing he can do against that. Oh gosh, I remember when I didn't have to play against Gwen. But good times. The smart play would actually just be save Hush. I don't know why I used it. I could have used the Stellacorn to heal my Pantheon. Anyway, video's over. Bye.